I did want to stay on that topic because I think you made a very good point about somewhat being naive when you're young. I've noticed this with a lot of players. They get to like 20, 26, 70, and they have all this like wind in their sails, maybe even like 27, 30. But then somewhat they plateau, and then they get like 22, 23 years of age. They don't make that push to the elite. And then they have a bad tournament. They go back to like 26, 70, and that's basically where they stay for the rest of their career. Talk to me a little bit about this sort of naive feeling that you need to have in order to be able to push through that plateau. Have you thought about that?
I actually don't think you need to be naive. I think you need exactly the opposite. I think actually what is naive is to think that...
Because you said you're thinking about life, 70, 80% of the time instead of, chess. For example, Fabi, I know he thinks about chess much more than that, I would say. At least that's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, generally, of course, it's better to be... I mean, for your chess, it's better to be focused on chess as much as you can. Say for guys like Gukish, I mean, it feels like it's under control in a way that I don't see him suddenly like falling in love tomorrow, or I don't know, or like I don't know, gambling or finding like a dozen of different hobbies that he wants to do and stuff. So I mean, in that sense, it sort of helps, but it's harder to maintain this sort of attitude when you're not 17 but like 25 or something. Say for the Russians, I think it's a very common story, and I mean, it happened to me as well. It happened to Jan. It happened, I think, to some extent to Yesipenko, actually. Fedoseev, basically, pretty much all the like strong Russian players went through it. That, I mean, you're sort of talented, and you're a very promising player, and then say you get somewhere, basically thanks to your talent, and you kind of get a feeling, say for me, like I was not really working on chess like before I got to, I don't know, at least 2660, I would say, for the first time, maybe even more. And then you get this feeling that it's going to be smooth all the way, basically. And then two things happen. Like, first of all, at some point, people actually start taking you seriously, which happens very often to those young guys, that they don't actually understand that they sort of got to 27-20. Yes, they played well, but it's also because like everybody was almost trying to beat them on demand. Then when you kind of maintain your 27-20, people stop being crazy against you. And then it's much harder to get a game, it's much harder to create chances, and generally people start taking you way more seriously. And then at the same time, actually, I mean, at least in Russia, life happens. So this is like exactly when you're like 18, 19, 20. This is exactly like normally when you start living alone, when you probably start dating someone. And I mean, you kind of need to go through your sort of introduction to like a really like adult life. And these two things together actually slow down your progress a lot, to say the least. And this, I think, is what happened, let's say, to Yesipenko as well, who was, I think, 2730s, and he went back to like 26, maybe 50 even. Now he's back to 2700 again. Same happened to Jan, who was, I think, like 2730, maybe when he was like 19. Then I remember when he was, I think, 24, he was like 2690 or something.